This video production is brought to you by Pack and Away Mobile Storage. We bring the storage unit to your door, pack it at your place, and store it at ours. Pack and Away Storage is a division of Highway Number 1 Self-Storage. We are proud supporters of the Number 2 NLSA Sprint Car and Number 20X Modified.
Tonight to enjoy the Big Al Delane Memorial Modified Race, and we are in Heat 1 action. One of 3 heats, so be prepared to watch a lot of cars tonight race around these tracks. All right, we are going to start off in row number 1. From Greenbush, the number 75 car of Jordan Wall. In the number 2 spot on his outside, dusting off his old modified, it's the 20 of Kevin Sexton. In row number 2 from Zimmerman, it is Jeremy Nelson driving the 6 car. On his outside, from Minnesota, it's the 7B of Bryce Borgen. In row number 3, the 5G of Scott Gear is in the 3rd row. On his outside, the 25, the rookie Eric Gio, not really a rookie, but maybe in this class. And Danny Staff in row number 4 at the number 7, and the 1R of Rick Delane on his outside. And we are racing. Kevin Sexton punching his way out in the front. Oh, we've got some problems in turn number 2. A whole mash of cars, 3 wide, and there was a little bumping and shoving. And Scott Greer spins around. Now, what's important about these heat races tonight is it's passing points. Is that correct? So basically what that means is you can still qualify for the feature if you do well up front. However, you can also get passing points, ladies and gentlemen, which basically mean the more cars you pass, the better off you could be in the feature race. Point averages don't mean anything tonight.
Well, of course, Jordan Wall out of Greenbush, Minnesota. We saw Dustin Wall earlier. Jordan Wall out of Greenbush driving that Wall Brothers Racing number 75. Now, we talk about Kevin Sexton. Of course, he is driving one of Darian Boyce's race cars. Darian Boyce is started way back in the 5th row. And, of course, Kevin Sexton in his car, the number 20 in the front row. Now, Sexton, of course, has an advantage. He hasn't raced here this year. He has the advantage in starting in the front row, but you have to stay up there, and he looked pretty good that first couple laps there before the yellow.
Well, he's got a lot of experience driving a car, so he should do fairly well. Well, it looks like we've got one more lap to go before we go back to green flag racing. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to keep up to date with what's going on here at Red River Co-op Speedway. Always feel free to check out our website at www.redrivercoopspeedway.ca. There's tons of great news, plus our junior fan zone and a lot of other great things on there. So check us out whenever you got a minute. That's www.redrivercoopspeedway.ca.
How about Big Day Media?
It's no longer just Big Day Media. It's actually the Manitoba Racing Network. So if you want to watch some of these great races, you can always check out our website. But I'll plug that later. Here we go. We are racing once again, ladies and gentlemen. The 20 car, Kevin Sexton with a huge lead. And Greer having a little problems on that top end of the track. Wowee, Kevin Sexton powering his way right to the front. And Rick Delane, if you take a look at him with the 1R car, he started pretty far back there, and he's already worked his way up the 4th spot, and he's looking to make some more moves on the backstretch. He's fighting toe-to-toe, trying to get 3rd spot, and he does. Rick Delane sitting in 3rd. Danny Staff just in front of him. Delane sizing him up, trying to find a way to get around him. The number 25 car, Eric Gio, having little problems on the back straightaway. He manages to right the ship and keep going. Your leader right now, the number 20 car of Kevin Sexton, followed by 7 of Danny Staff. And in third right now, the 1R of Rick Delane. Danny Staff trying to find his way around Kevin Sexton on turn 3. Sexton slowing down, having some problems, taking the high side, and Danny Staff and Rick Delane find a way to pass him. 6 laps to go. Danny Staff, once again having a little problems, goes to the top end of the track and falls back a little bit more. Rick Delane started out in this race in the 8th spot, number 8, and he has already worked his way up to number 2. Oh boy, we're having one dandy of a race tonight. Bryce Borgen and the number 6 car, Jeremy Nelson, fighting for the 4th spot. 3rd and 4th, I should say. Danny Staff making himself a comfortable lead out in the front with 4 laps on the clock. Rick Delane trying to make his move and catch some ground. Bryce Borgen sitting in 3rd place, followed by the number 6 car of Jeremy Nelson. Kevin Sexton and Darian Boyce rounding out your 5th and 6th spot. 2 laps to go in this first heat of the A modified heat races. Interesting enough, Danny Staff started this race in the 7th spot, Rick Delane in the 8th, and they are currently sitting in 1st and 2nd. Borgen 7B car trying to make a push here. But the checkered flag is coming out. Your winner in heat number 1, the number 7 car of Danny Staff. 2nd place goes to the 1R of Rick Delane, followed by the number 7 car of Bryce Borgen. What a race. Unfortunately, not the race that Kevin Sexton wanted, though he started off really strong today.
You're right. You know, I got to think something terribly wrong went with that car. I don't know if it was a spring or a shock or something, but obviously that car developed a terrible push throughout the race, and I don't think the track turned around that quickly. I don't think it changed that much, so I think it's more the car, and I just can't imagine it's Kevin's driving style because
No.
It's not.
No, you could actually see him there on turn number 3. He just cut over 2 lanes, and he had no control, so obviously something went wrong with the car, but I'm sure we'll find out at the intermission what would happen there. All right, pushing it over back to Darren here for heat number 2.
Thanks very much, Ken. Of course, while we were talking about passing points here for the Big Al Delane Memorial. Now, if you think about it in simplified terms, what we're going to do is take the top 8 guys that pass the most cars. Top 8 in passing points will come to the stage in intermission and draw for starting position in the feature. So even if you're the top guy in passing points, and if you draw an 8, well, then you're going to start outside of row number 4 in the 8 starting position. So it's a straight up redraw from the top 8, but you will, if you're in the top 8 in passing points in the heats, you're guaranteed to start in the first 4 rows in the feature event. So Rick Delane and Danny Staff can pretty good run there.
No kidding, and they also finished in 1st and 2nd, so that doesn't hurt either.
All right, here we go with modified heat number 2, brought to you by Odessa and Piston Ring, celebrating 60 years. Starting on the pole out of Marquette, Manitoba, he drives the Santana Kennels, Archangel Fireworks, Johnny McRae trucking number 9. This is Lee McRae. On the outside, the Emery Demolition, K4 10W is Ward Emery. Inside row number 2 out of Stratton, Ontario, driving the 4S car is Stephen Norden. Outside the A1 Environmental, Superior Asphalt A1 is Ian Russo. Inside row 3 out of South Dakota, the 11 is Denver Nicholson. Outside the X5 sponsored by St. Vital Electric is Rob Gordon. Inside row 4, the Lee River Trucking number 51 is Randy Bellick, and rounding out the field, last year's winner here in the Big Al Memorial. This is the Wagaman Brothers Racing Engines 14W. The driver is Clayton Wagaman. Clayton winning last year's Al Delane Memorial. He is out of Blaine, Minnesota, which is not far from St. Paul. So keep your eyes on the 14W. We'll be talking to him during the redraw at intermission, but he is last year's Al Delane Memorial Champion in the Wagaman Brothers Racing Engines, car number 14W. Here we go. Lee McRae in the Ford-powered modified hops out to the early lead. The Marquette, Manitoba native, a former two-time Super Truck Points champion, driving the Johnny McRae Trucking number 9 now in the lead. Second, the Miller Engines A1 of Ian Russo. Third is the 11 of Denver Nicholson. Where is Ward Emery? Not out on the racetrack, is he?
No Ward Emery so far.
All right, we'll try to get you that story just as soon as we can, but Ward Emery was scheduled to start outside of row number 1 in the second starting position and is missing in action. But who isn't missing right now is your leader, and that is Lee McRae in the number 9 out of Marquette, Manitoba. Looking good in the big Ford. Clayton Wagaman in the 14W trying to claw his way by the X car, and he does. Wagaman now into 5th. Stephen Norden out of Stratton, Ontario off the pace. Your leader out of turn 4. 5 to go. There's Ward Emery. Four to go for McRae in the Santana Kennels. Number 9, now 3 to go. He is setting a torrid pace. White flag is in the air now for your leader, Lee McRae, in the Johnny McRae Trucking Santana Kennels number 9 as he heads into turn 3 and 4. He started on the pole and nobody has challenged him. He has looked good. Your winner, Lee McRae. The Rubber Ducky Resort number 9 taking the win. Second spot going to the 11 of Denver Nixon. Denver Nicholson out of South Dakota. We're not sure exactly in South Dakota. Looks like maybe Veblen, South Dakota, or Vebla. But at any rate, the 11 of Denver Nicholson out of South Dakota unofficially taking second and third in the Miller Racing Engines. A1 Environmental, Superior Asphalt A1 is Ian Russo. Ian having a good year in that A1. He's a good smooth driver. He's been at it for several years now. His father raced for many years before him, and now Ian Russo behind the wheel of the A1 Modified. Of course, he's currently 5th in points with 191, 20 back of leader Rick Delane in the 1R, who last won a championship in the year 2000.
The one thing about Ian Russo, though, if people don't know, he's actually got 2 wins this year already, and there's quite spread out in the modified class, but he's done quite well, 2 wins, and he's really been pushing this year, so it's great to watch him race and doing pretty well here on that heat race. All right, we're going to get ready to go here on your third and final heat for this Big Al Delane Memorial Race. We've got a total of 8 cars ready for the track as they get ready to take the field here. We'll start off on the pole, the number 35 car, Adam Magus. To his outside, the number 22 of Mike Tiani. In row number 2, from Fanistel, the number 48 car of Jerome Guillot. On his outside, the number 2 of Aaron Holtan. In row number 3, the number 14 car of Aaron Olson. Gavin Paul is on his outside. He is driving the number 16 car that's passing you right now. In row number 4, the 29K of Ryan Karaluk. His dad was also racing in that race. And the 69 of Justin Jones rounds out your modified class as we get ready to go here for heat number 3 of the Big Al Delane Memorial Modified Special.
While Traveler, the number 14, Aaron Olson out of Mackinac, North Dakota. Mike Tiani outside row 1 is out of Minnesota.
Here we go. A little bumping on the front straightaway between the number 22 and the number 35. And look who shoots out into the front. The Ford of Aaron Holton takes the lead. He started off the race in 4th spot. He's already all the way up in 1st. Quick on his heels, the number 14 car of Aaron Olson. And Olson making a charge on the back straightaway. Holton jumps up ahead, slowing down on turn number 3 and 4. And it's the opportunity that the 14 car needs. He takes the lead. Aaron Olson leading the pack on the 2nd lap. The race for 4th is heating up. 4 cars, the number 16 launches past them all on turn number 3. The 16 car of Gavin Paul. Still in the lead, the number 14 car of Aaron Olson leading the way. Followed by the number 2 of Aaron Holton. 3rd and 4th spot heating up. We've got a play on the back straightaway for 2nd. 3 cars fighting for it. Taking the inside track, the number 16 car of Gavin Paul. Can he find room? No, he can't. And there's a little bit of bumping on the front straightaway. And something happened there on turn number 2. 2 cars trying to get around. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. So once again, we'll go back to the last completed lap. We'll sort out who's in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for you. First in local news, sports, and entertainment, the Winnipeg Sun. Start your day with the Winnipeg Sun. Pick up your copy and be the first to know. Proud sponsor of the Red River Co-op Speedway. The number 14 car of Aaron Olson currently leading the way. We've got 5 laps to go in this race. Adam Magus, who started the race on the pole, has found his way all the way down to the back of the pack. This restart may be what he needs to get himself back into this race. Rob Como says we've got 1 lap to go, so back to racing here in just a few moments. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget our smoking section is behind the grandstands. So if you'd like to have a cigarette, that is the place to do it. Please do not smoke in the stands where other patrons are. And here we go, green flag. Aaron Olson still with the early lead. But it's the number 16 car and the number 2. The 16 car of Gavin Paul finding his way into the second spot and making a push for the lead. He takes the far outside. Oh, it's a big break for the 16 car. He finds his way to the front. Maybe a little bit of problems there for Aaron Olson. But we've got a new leader, ladies and gentlemen. It's the number 16 car of Gavin Paul. Followed by the 14 of Olson and the 2 of Holton. And Holton makes his move now on the backstretch. Finds his way back up to second spot. Not far behind him is Jerome Dio. He now makes his move, and 3 cars now in a row have lapped the 14 car of Aaron Olson. Gavin Paul building himself up a comfortable lead as he gets the white flag for 1 lap to go. Holton and Dio following up in second and third place currently. And the 14 car must be having some problems out there because that is the 4th car to pass him. The number 35 car of Adam Magus has made his way back up to 4th spot. And your winner, checkered flag, goes to the number 16 car of Gavin Paul. 2nd spot going out to Aaron Holton, and 3rd to Jerome Gio. What an important restart on that one for our winner. He ended up coming back in that race and sneaking his way to the front. And a couple other drivers making their way, getting some laps in and helping out their feature for tonight.
Well, Gavin Paul, of course, Ken, from Fort Francis, Ontario. He currently leads the point standings at the Emo, Ontario racetrack. So nice to have Gavin Paul with us in the 16 car. He is a semi-regular competitor here on Thursday nights at Red River Co-op Speedway, but did very, very well